It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That's one of Chris's all-time favorite bands. That's Vane.
It is. I love them, man.
Featuring Davey Vane.
Sure. Good stuff.
And, that's a band that kind of comes and goes.
Yep.
They kind of like, they'll do an album or put out a couple of songs or something, and then you don't hear from them for years and years, and then all of a sudden they pop back up again, and they just kind of sporadic that way. But I know that you're a huge Vane fan. When you were in the military, you got to see them out in the Bay Area, right?
I did, yeah. I saw not only them, but I got to see when they broke up and when Steven Adler got kicked out of Guns N' Roses.
Right.
They formed a band. It was basically everybody but the drummer from Vane.
Right.
And Adler, and they called that Road Crew.
Okay.
And I got to see Road Crew play a gig as well at Stone Omni, one of those places.
Sure.
It was great. So
all right,
good.
Cool. Now, are they? I haven't really looked at the M3 lineup. Are they part of that lineup?
They are part of that lineup.
Yeah, they're on the M3.
They are playing early, though. You better be there early.
What time? Like 11? 11?
Maybe they're second listed.
Okay.
So maybe 12, 11:30?
Probably somewhere around that.
So I would suggest be there about 6:30 just to make sure.
Well, I know a couple of people from the CMS chat room are going to attend M3, and
sure.
I'll make my best effort to get out there and shake a couple of hands and maybe take a few pictures and say hello and say thank you for listening to the show.
Right.
All that kind of good stuff. So I expect to see a few CMS shirts out there.
Yeah, if you have a CMS shirt and you're going to M3 and you don't wear it, just stop listening. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but just stop listening.
Well, somebody who did wear a CMS shirt who sent some pictures over was Dan Pate.
Yeah, Dan Pate he's out tonight.
Yeah, he went to see Stephen Pearcy.
Yep.
So good for him.
Yeah, he's representing.
Yeah, he took some pictures with Pearcy and the guys from the band, and he got a shitload of CD covers signed. He took a picture of all the CD covers he took with him, from White Lion to Vertex to Rat to all that stuff.
He literally did exactly what we talked about 3 weeks ago.
Well, you know what the thing is when you get an opportunity to see somebody that you really like, or
sure,
and the thing is that with Stephen Pearcy's band, you have an opportunity there to get a lot of stuff signed from different projects, be it Stephen Pearcy or Arcade or Vertex or White Lion or so you can get them all in one shot.
Yeah, but the artists hate that shit.
You know what the thing is? Some of them hate it. Some of them go, you know what? Wow, you are a fan.
Yeah, I can't imagine Pearcy hates it.
Oh no, Pearcy is like, oh dude, you're cool.
Pearcy with his ego coming,
sure,
coming like 6 miles away.
Right.
I would think
10 miles wide.
Yeah, 10 miles wide.
His ego 10 miles wide.
That's exactly right.
Sure.
And for him, I'm probably I'm sure he has a story about every one of them he signs to.
Right.
You got this one too. That was something that we did, that Vertex thing.
Exactly.
He's got some story to tell you.
Sure.
So, he's probably good for it. D'Angelo, I don't know. Is that Greg D'Angelo? Yeah. I don't know him well enough to know, but
he's pretty laid back.
He's probably thrilled to be signing anything.
I'd say that he was probably happy to go, hey, dude, thanks.
Considering when I met him, I texted you and asked if he was a tech. I was like, who's this guy? Is he a tech? And
they listen to this show, so they're going to hear this segment and go, Chris, what a faggot.
I know. Well, look, in the day, I think he probably had longer hair.
Yeah.
And, might have been like 3-4 pounds thinner than he is now.
Sure.
And, I mean, he looks like an accountant now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't kick ass. I'm just saying that he looks like an accountant now.
Right.
So I did. I sent you a picture and said, hey, who's this guy? And you were like, oh, it's Greg D'Angelo.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I thought it was a roadie.
Nice. Wow. So anyway, you guys and girls who do have some CMS swag and go out there and represent, we appreciate it.
Sure.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
I like that. And I like when you send your pictures over, too.
Yeah, we like getting the pictures.
Yeah. So if Chris would do something with them, I know
I'll put them up if people tell me I can. Dan Pate, please, if we can put your pictures up, I will.
Sure.
You know, I just don't like to just blindly put people's pictures up.
Right. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, we don't exploit people that, you know, just share stuff with us.
Yeah. I mean, it comes in a private mail, and that's partly my fault because I don't let people post on the CMS page.
Right.
And I'm not going to start doing that either.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if people, when you guys send your pictures, if you just say it's good to post or something like that, I'll put them right up.
Right.
You know, I have no problem with that.
Sure. Well, I like the fact that people want to wear the shirt and go out to a show and go, you know, I heard about you, or, you know, these guys play a lot of you, or they talk about you on the show, or, you know, whatever. But it's cool.
Right. Wow, the messages are coming in about your allergies.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. You know, there's nothing I could do about it. I'm sorry.
I just pictured Neeley puffing up due to a cat allergy.
No. Just a stuffy nose. I'm sorry.
Get Neeley some Benadryl, not just one.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Where do you get those? Where do you get those messages from?
Facebook,
Okay.
Texts.
Yeah.
You know, my friend Amy's texted me about the Benadryl. Toomey texted me about the cat.
Yeah. Well, all I can do is apologize. I could leave the room and go back to my hotel and say, you know, fuck it, let Chris just handle the show, you know?
Yeah, and then you'll get all Exodus all night.
Yeah, exactly. So I apologize. That's all I could say. My nose just got stuffed up. That's what I could, you know, whatever.
Look, every one of you that has a complaint about Neely's money or Neely's
my money.
Neely's money. Well, I have a complaint about that. You make it too much. Share. Well, yeah, I guess you did. You bought me.
I did. I bought you $500 worth of equipment.
Worth of shit today.
What, are you shitting me?
I guess I can't say that. But no, for people that are bitching about your allergy or whatever, you know what? You guys can have 100% of what you paid to listen back tonight.
Yeah.
Every dime you spent to listen tonight, you can have back.
Sure.
So here you go. Just send it to request@theclassicmetalshow.com.
I want my refund, damn it.
Our management team will get right on that.
Right. Well, look at Sammy Lee, the guy who prints the CMS shirt. He wears his proudly.
Well, look at this. Hey, this is from Scribble. Hey, bro, we're going to be shooting a music video in the next few weeks. Would love to get a CMS shirt to rock in the video.
There you go.
So I think we could send Scribble a shirt,
I'm sure we could send Scribble a shirt. He's given us a couple of songs.
Yeah, he's given us 2 songs, and I think we can work that out. Scribble, send me your email.
Yeah, I need to know an address so I can get it out there.
Scribble, just send me your mailing address. We'll take care of that right away.
Absolutely.
You know, we can definitely take care of that.
I sent a shirt out today to somewhere. I don't even know where this place is. It's called Red Lion, Pennsylvania.
Red Lion?
Red Lion.
Man, I go there. Never mind.
Red Lion, Pennsylvania.
What do you think that population is? 6, 8?
I don't know the answer, but, you know, they apparently listen to the show at Red Lion.
And of course, he's sitting next to his computer cranking his modem.
It's like, I love listening to these guys' show. I catch every other word.
What do you think he's listening to? Mountaininternet.net?
He's listening. He gets his email on, what was that one that was real popular? You started off with it.
Oh,
Prodigy?
Prodigy. What was even before that? I was all the way back to CompuServe.
Yeah,
at one
there you
point.
go.
And remember, and all my emails back then were the Mojo Crew.
Sure.
I was Mojo Crew at Prodigy.net.
Yeah, even my dad was on Prodigy.
Well, shit, you were on fucking Web TV.
I was on Web TV.
When I met you, you were the most technologically in advanced person.
You're right.
Short of an old folks home. I mean, you had some technology.
I did, but you know, I'll tell you the story where that came from.
All right.
You know, obviously in the 80s, there was not the internet.
Right.
And I started driving a truck in 1991.
Okay.
And I was on the road from 91 till almost 95, which you know, the computer era hit during that time.
Right.
And I was not, because I was on the road all the time, I didn't have time to, catch up with that. But once I did catch up, I do it better than most.
Then you surpass damn near everybody.
I do it better than most.
It's just so funny because, I remember you started with nothing.
I did.
I mean, a web TV keyboard and a big long cord into your TV.
That's it. No, I had wireless, my friend. No long cord. I had a wireless.
Oh, was it wireless?
It was a wireless keyboard and mouse.
But then you went to multiple computers. And
well, no, you gave me my first
I gave
computer.
you the first one, but then you were like, I got to have more than this.
Yeah. and once I blew past that, then I got into, the whole mode. And now, I got the most technologically advanced studio around.
Yeah. There's not most of the most small radio stations
don't have what I
do
have.
not have what you have.
Yeah.
Maybe the big ones do, the clear
Sure.
channels that can fucking throw out $100,000.
Exactly.
What's your studio worth? 50?
It's not that high. I would put about 20,000 on.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
it's not cheap.
About 20,000.
Definitely not cheap.
So but the thing is, I'll admit I started off slow. I was a little behind the curve, but I got ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you're way ahead of it now.
Yeah, sure.
Now you're making $100,000 a week.
Sure.
Fucking rich guy.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Well, which is why the CMS has remained free and commercial free.
Right. Yeah, dude. And I'm not saying this to smash other people. In fact, I'll just go to somebody that we don't mind smashing.
Okay.
Michael Butler.
Right.
Yeah, as you remember back in the day, we had problems with that guy.
Right.
And I don't know that we do or we don't now. Apparently he still has a grudge, but whatever.
Okay, whatever.
But he would be out there saying, "Oh, you got to click on my Adam and Eve."
Yeah, whatever.
And we were always like, not going to do it. Not going to do it.
I was adamantly against that.
And I am so happy that we've stayed free. And just, by the grace of God, you make good coin, I make good coin, where this doesn't have to make coin.
Right.
And man, that gives us a distinct advantage over everybody else.
I completely agree.
So good.
Yep. So you get it for nothing.
Yeah. Get it?
And you get a good show for nothing.
Yeah, at least we try to do a good show.
Exactly.
Neither one of us can quite figure out what the fuck you guys hear in listening to this.
Yeah, but you also get clean audio as well.
Yeah. Neeley just keeps shoveling money into.
Gotta stay up with the times. Gotta make it happen.
Sure does.
So we're Chris and I, every week when we can do this, which probably 48 weeks out of the year, we give you a show.
Yeah, we try to.
A free show. Free.
Yeah. You're going to be traveling next week. There's still going to be a show.
Yeah, there's going to be a show, and you're set up for one too.
Yeah, now I'm way set up for it.
Yeah, so before I leave here tonight, I'll make sure everything's all set up to where you just got to roll it out.
I don't have to roll it. It's now Bandian.
Oh, that's right.
So it's set up. It's ready to rock.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to be traveling at M3 next week, and Chris will still give you a show.
I will. Me and the mighty Bob Nalbandian.
Right. Good.
That should be fun. And maybe Toby will jump in.
I'd like to hear that.
I'd like to hear it too with the. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm sure.
Well, speaking of Nalbandian,
yeah,
he did a show on what was T Radio V.
Yeah, now on Zinna
TV.
That was really good. Did you watch it?
I didn't see it yet. I saw the little news blast about it. I didn't get to watch it yet, but I'm going to watch it. But,
it's really good.
But that Mike Zinna, speaking of people who put money in their show,
right.
The guy who started T Radio V,
right.
There's a guy who's put a lot of money.
Dude, did you see any of the screenshots of the new studio?
No, I didn't.
Holy shit!
Well, I visited the T Radio V studios last year.
Right.
Mike was at one of the Bob Nalbandian screenings.
Okay.
And I got to meet him in person. He's just like, dude, if you're going to be around town, why don't you come on down? I'll show you around.
Right.
And so I made the trip over to the studio. He showed me around, and then Bob had told me, probably when I saw him in January at NAMM, he said Mike is doing a whole new studio and this and that.
Okay.
So no, I did not see it.
It's really solid.
Well, see, there's a guy who does stuff the right way.
Yeah.
Unless he could do it right, he wasn't going to do it.
Well, he definitely did it the right way. It's an amazing looking studio.
Sure.
it's not as like Bob used to have like posters and shit all up. Well, I can't imagine Zinna's going to let that happen anymore because it looks like he invested like a lot of money in soundproof walls.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
You know, what is that called? That's like you put it on a wall.
It's just soundproof
cutout thing.
Yeah.
He had really nice full wall floor to ceiling pieces.
Well, in order not to get that hollow sound, to dampen the echo in the room, you got to have that soundproofing.
Right, really nice.
Sure.
And Bob did a great interview with the band Sound Barrier.
Yeah,
great interview. I didn't know anything about the band at all, which to me is like the best that Bob does.
Sure.
I love Bob.
Right.
And you know that. We both love Bob.
Well, Bob is a veteran of the LA music scene. He'd been around, been covering this for decades.
Sure.
There's nobody better out there who paid attention to that kind of stuff than Bob. And he brings all that to the forefront. He probably remembers stuff that most of those guys forgot.
Are you with me in that you'd rather see Bob interview a nobody than somebody that's known?
Yeah, because, most people who are known per se, if you followed that kind of stuff, you probably read it in one of the magazines or you saw it online or you've seen a million interviews.
Right.
But the guys that were the forefathers or the forerunners that aren't maybe even in the business anymore today, probably never heard of them.
Nope.
And you probably didn't know what they had to go through to make their craft happen.
Right.
So, I like it, and especially since Bob is such a historian, he knows the questions to ask and knows how to bring the best out of that interview.
He does, and he does a solid job. He did a great job with Sound Barrier. Excellent stuff.
So good for him, and he's got a couple of the more inside metal things coming out this year.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to seeing that and seeing the continuing series.
Yeah, seeing us in them.
Well, that's a side from the fact.
Maybe for you, pal.
but I'm going to be in one for Cleopatra.
Yeah, well, you're a fancy guy.
Well, not necessarily, but the thing is that one of them was coincidentally, I won't say that it was inspired by, but it was coincidentally a discussion that we had here on the show about branding.
Right.
And for some reason, Cleopatra wanted Bob to do a documentary about these bands and how important branding is for their band. And because you and I had such a discussion about it, while I was in NAMM back in January, Bob asked me to sit in and do a little segment and talk about branding.
Right.
Which Nader had done his segment just before me.
Okay.
And because Nader still, performs under the London name, which he was not a part of from the beginning, but he carries the branding of London, he still makes somewhat kind of a living off of that, or at least he goes out there and performs under that name. So he was a good guy to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Because he benefits from branding. So Bob allowed me to be a part of his documentary that is going to be turned out on Cleopatra.
Well, that's cool. Well, hell, even this show, we know it shouldn't still be called the Classic Metal Show.
Yes and no. I mean, it's more about the attitude.
Yeah.
We've always said that. I mean, do we sit there and talk 6 hours about classic metal? No. But we talk music-based things, but we have the attitude.
Yeah, and when we don't talk about music stuff, we still are assholes about it.
Or more or less. Yeah. So, but we I've carried this brand since I started this show 21 years now. So it is what it is.
And it would be dumb for us to be like, it'd be dumb for us to say, okay, here it is, shit, chicks, and politics.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Dumb.
It would be stupid. We've built this brand. You started it. You put 10 in, and then I've put 10 in, and we've built it.
Here it is.
Yeah, when you say the classic metal show, if you're a fan, you know what it is.
Yeah, and you go, fuck you, pal.
Yeah, you don't sit there and go, man, I sure hope that they talk about this big Alias reunion that's coming up. I hope that's what's on topic tonight.
It's like, no, what are those two crazy fucks going to say this week?
Exactly.
Yeah. I can't get through my week without my fix.
Yeah, need that.
So, all right, well, cool.
Yeah.